So now that we have all three LYNX touch panels set to house ID 7, which is matching our relay, dip switch, house ID 7, we are ready to make our final connections and give it a test. The final connection is to supply power to the power supply. Because this is just the circuit board providing DC power to these items, it needs AC power from the wall. Okay, we're going to cut our length of wire here. We have our 1361 transformer, which again is a 16.5 VAC, 40 VA transformer. We're going to strip our ends down. On one end and the other. One end goes to the 1361, one end goes to the auxiliary power supply. Transformer takes the power from the wall outlet, okay, pushes it through here to whatever it's connected to. Because this is just a 2-wire connection, we're going to trim down our leads. You could also double those up if you wanted, in case you had a break on the black and the red. Then the green and the white could do the trick, but to keep it simple here, we're just going to trim them down and just use the black and the red. We're going to trim down the endings so that we have some exposed wire. I always like to give a little bit of little bit more of a connection on the transformer wire. I'll show you in a minute why you'll want the extra wire there. Compared to when you're just landing it inside of a screw, a terminal like on the relay module. Okay, we have our exposed black and red, and the reason I like to leave a little more is when you make these connections to the screw terminal on the transformer, I like to do a little hook here. Alright, that hook allows you, and actually it's always best to do a little more on the insulator too, so you can manipulate the black and the red, have a little more separation between the two. Just going to strip that back a little more, trim down the green and the whites. Okay, so now that we have our black and our red stripped, if you twist these down and then make a little bit of a fish hook with each, you'll see it makes it a little bit easier to connect to the back of these screws. So I use my screwdriver, bend them over a little bit. Now we have 2 little fish hooks. Now when we loosen up these terminals, we want to make a nice clean connection behind the screws, okay? And the hooks allow us to do that a little bit easier. So you get the hook all the way around the screw, and then when you screw it down, you get a nice solid connection. If you do the hook in the direction that you'll be screwing your screw, it doesn't get all unfrayed. If I had those hooks going the other way, it would unravel and get a little messed up there. So you do the hooks the way that you're screwing it down. Now we're connected to the transformer. This is just the screw to hold the transformer to the wall outlet. I'm just going to remove that for a minute. Okay, on the other end we have our black and our red, and we're going to strip down the ends. Now for these, we don't need nearly as much exposed wire because we're just going to be landing to the terminals of the power supply. Twist them down so you don't have the frayed stranded wire as you put them in. And our final connection here, loosen up our terminals on our power supply. These are AC. Polarity is not conscious, so can go to either side. We're going to do black on the right, red on the left. We just land these underneath the clamp. Screw it down tight. Same thing for the red. All right. Now, when this plugs into the wall, it's going to provide power to our power supply, which provides power to our relay and our siren. Before we do that, just to demonstrate, in a real world situation, we always recommend using the battery, okay? So the power supply has a charging circuit with some leads coming off the board, so that if you were to lose your power, if your transformer got unplugged, or you had a power outage at the house, you have a sealed lead acid battery that is providing power, okay? We're going to connect this actually after we do our transformer connection. So we're ready to go. You'll start to see all the lights power up as soon as we plug this in. Transformer's on, lights kick on. Now we connect our battery. And we have made all of our connections.